You have to see this car that jumped and flew over 6 lanes of busy traffic.
Damn!
Well, I hope you're having a great day, cause it's time for another episode of Odd News Weekly, the show where we give you the craziest news from all over the World Wide Web. This week we have crazy stories like planes that almost run right into busy highways, and the tech that stopped them right in the nick of time, and you have to stay to the end of the video where we'll see this speedster that broke this world record completely backwards. So let's get right into it with story number 1. Cars can fly now? Check out this dashcam footage from this car that was driving down a highway in Long Island, and it shows that cars really can fly now. Check it out. Yes, I was absolutely shocked too, and when we looked into it, it seems like officials are saying that the man had a medical episode, seizure, and he lost control of his car, causing him to go up an embankment and flying through the streets. It's crazy, 6 lanes of traffic. We're already starting this week off with some crazy things that were caught on tape. But I want to know, what are the craziest things you've ever seen on a highway? Because this one's up there, for sure. I can't even believe what it's like to be that guy who was just driving, minding his own business, when he saw a car jump over 6 lanes of traffic. That's crazy. That car really caught some air, and it's a crazy sight to see. So remember to keep your eyes peeled and be safe on the roads, people. You never know what could happen. But speaking of not knowing something, we have story number 2. This man was arrested for living in a crawl space. That's right, this 40-year-old man probably thought, you know what? I've had it enough with these rent prices. I'm just gonna live in this crawl space, and that he did. He turned this unused space in the condo building into a home. And having a look at it, the crawl space is quite large. That's not really a crawl space. You can stand in there. It's like a stand space, if that's a thing. But apparently the people living in that building were hearing some bizarre noises, but they were completely shocked when they found out that someone was actually living there. And some neighbors were really impressed with how he got away with it. And he was apprehended after some time, but there was meth found in that crawl space. So crackhead things, I guess. But remember, people, if you hear scary noises at night, it might just be a crackhead living in your crawl space, which could possibly be scarier than actual ghosts. But oh well. Would you consider living in a crawl space just like this guy? With rent prices these days, I don't blame you. I might just even do that myself. Which brings us to the third story of the day. More than 60 shipping containers fall off a ship like dominoes. If you have any important packages coming to you in the near future, I advise you to look away. By the dozen, lots of dozens of shipping containers falling into the ocean. Because a cargo ship in Long Beach just had a major mishap with shipping containers falling like dominoes into the ocean by the dozen. If you check the tracking for your packages, you might just get this horrible message. That's a complete nightmare. But officials have still yet to find the cause of this major mishap at the port, but they also had to close operations on the dock as they clean up the big mess. So yeah, even more delays for people who are expecting their packages. So do you have a package coming in soon? Well, I hope you don't, because it may never come. But I wish you the best of luck. And if you want to wish us the best of luck here at the Odd News Weekly channel, then, why not hit the like button, the subscribe button, and even that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any other videos. But only if you really like the content. We really appreciate it. It helps us a lot. But let's get back into the stories with this theme park panic. With story number 4, panic at a theme park with shots being fired. Worlds of Fun, a theme park in Kansas City, went into a full panic as gunshots were heard in the background, followed by a rush of police officers flooding the scene. This pandemonium was a crazy sight to see, especially if you're just a family looking for some wholesome family fun at a theme park. Some people were saying it was a pretty intense experience, thousands of people sprinting all at one time. But the interesting thing about this, it seems like all news outlets are saying that the police have found no evidence of any kind of shooting. Even some articles saying it was just fireworks. But when you look online, it seems like public discourse has gone on, and people who were actually there say that it had to be gunshots, because that's exactly what they heard. What do you think it was? Do you think it was actually gunfire? Or do you think that it could have been just some fireworks or some kind of random loud noise that people just chalked up to being gunfire? Well, I'm not entirely sure what it was, but one thing's clear. Everyone seems to be paranoid with public shootings and just violence going on, and we don't like that. It's a scary time to be living, and but hopefully everyone is safe and there's no shootings in public, and we can just hope for the best. Hope for the best. But please, stay safe, friends. But speaking of staying safe, which brings us to story number 5. This jet almost runs into a busy freeway. And here's the tech that stopped it. This jet in Florida was seen speeding at the very end of a runway and stopping right in the nick of time before hitting this really busy highway. Take a look. Honestly, my first thought was, who designed this airport to have a runway that runs immediately into a very busy highway? But my second thought is, if you see the video, you can see that that jet was able to stop right in the nick of time, even if it was going really fast. And apparently it's all thanks to this new development airports are using called the EMAS. EMAS, which stands for Engineered Materials Arresting System. And it's this area at the end of the runway made of lightweight crushable materials that help planes sink down to stop them in their tracks right before danger. Honestly, it's some really cool tech to see out there, and it really saved the day. Have you ever heard of this EMAS tech? Let us know in the comments below. I hope every airport has this tech from now on. In more plane news, this pilot crashed carrying 400 pounds of SpaceX branded. Yes, that bizarre headline is true. This pilot and his plane were found in Brazil after this crash that killed its only passenger. It was a tragedy, but what makes this story really interesting is the fact that there were 400 pounds, 180 kilograms of SpaceX branded Coke on the flight. That's right, Coke. Not that kind of Coke, the other kind of Coke. The NSFW kind of Coke. Which begs to ask the question, why? Are there SpaceX branded drugs? One commenter even said Elon Muscobar, which was very witty and funny. But do you think Elon has anything to do with these drugs? Or do you think it was just someone randomly labeling his drugs with Elon Musk's company? Who knows? Well, it's all a mystery, but it is very intriguing. Because maybe these drugs are just so good that they take you to space. But who knows? No one knows. It's very interesting, but we will let you know if there are any developments to this story. Well, speaking of crazy, this is crazy footage of people walking down the rails of a roller coaster. Hi, my name is Brick, I'm the host of this show, and I have a fear of heights. So have a look at this roller coaster at Hershey Park that apparently stopped because of a guest disturbance. We still have yet to know what that even means. But because of the stoppage of this roller coaster, people had to evacuate the scene by walking down the rails of the roller coaster. Now that sounds like a nightmare to me. If I was there, it would have gone very differently. Okay, sir, looks like we have a big problem. We're gonna have to evacuate the ride by walking down the rails of this roller coaster. Come on, let's go, sir. Walking down the rails? No. Actually, I'm good here. I'm just gonna stay here. I'm good. Sir, please, we need to evacuate all the people to get... I said I'm good, leave me alone. I'm not walking down the rails of this roller coaster. Yeah, but I'm happy to say that no one got hurt here. So that's good news, I guess. But no more roller coasters for me. But this is the second time I've had to report on a roller coaster stopping in the middle of the ride, and that means no more roller coasters for me. Would you walk down the rails of this roller coaster? I definitely would not. That sounds like more of a death sentence to me. Which brings us to story number 8. This gnome-themed bench was mysteriously stolen and then returned. In more bizarre news for the week, there was a gnome-themed bench in Queens, New York. But one day it disappeared, leaving the owner stunned and confused. But one day after the missing bench was broadcasted, one neighbor saw it at a scrapyard and recognized the bench, and then returned it to its rightful place at the porch of the original owner. All interesting stuff, and I'm happy it's back to where it came from. But here's a question, why steal the gnome bench? Why return the gnome bench? And better yet, why have a gnome bench in the first place? Everything is a mystery to me. But it is interesting at the very least. What do you think of this gnome bench? Do you think it's worth having? Do you think it's worth stealing? Do you think it's worth returning? I don't know. It just looks like a regular bench to me. That's all I can say. But speaking of something that's not at all regular, in more strange world record news, this man claims the world record for sprinting in heels, but backwards. Yes, another week, another strange world record attempt. And this time, it's attempted by speedster, let me say his name correctly, Christian Roberto Lopez Rodriguez. Is that right? Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. And he did the sprint in high heels completely backwards. Which is really funny because if you look at the pictures, it just looks like he's running normally, forwards. But you need to see the video to see what he's actually doing, and it's very impressive. But this guy, Christian Roberto Lopez Rodriguez, is no stranger to the world records. Here's a few that he currently holds.
Fastest 400 meters in clops, 1 minute and 1.38 seconds. Fastest 100 meter wearing flip-flops, 12.10 seconds. Fastest mile traveled balancing a pool cue on finger, 5 minutes and 52.30 seconds. Fastest 100 meter on a space hopper male, 29.91 seconds. Fastest 100 meter carrying an egg on a spoon in the mouth, 17.21 seconds. Fastest 50 meter backwards wearing swim fins, 8.82 seconds.
Yeah, that's a crazy list of achievements. Congratulations, Christian Roberto Lopez Rodriguez. I just love saying his name. I hope I did it correctly. Would you attempt any of these world records? Well, I'd love to see it personally, so maybe you might make it on next week's episode of Odd News Weekly. Let us know down below. Which brings us to the last story of the day, number 10. This Humpty Dumpty statue was stolen from a mini golf course, and locals are heartbroken. just when you thought things couldn't get weirder, this Humpty Dumpty statue was stolen from a mini golf course, and check out the reactions from the locals.
I just couldn't believe that he was stolen. I mean, he's kind of like an institution around here. Everybody knows Humpty.
Yeah, they really seem to love this guy. I mean, he looks very strange, and I would not be that much of a fan. But it turns out there is footage of the crime, and these two men were found to be the perpetrators of this horrible heist. And then officials found Humpty Dumpty a few blocks away, a little dinged up but not too damaged, and now he's back to his home where he's always belonged ever since 1964. And now the whole town can celebrate. That's right, celebrate Humpty Dumpty. But we've seen crazier news, right? But everyone really does love this guy, and I'm happy the locals have their institution back where he belongs. Do you think this statue is worth the praise it's getting? Well, that's all opinion. I don't know if I can agree. But the locals really do love him, so there's that. But you know who does deserve praise? All of you here that have made it to the very end of this episode of Odd News Weekly. You all are the best, and I'm very happy you made it to the very end here. We love having you. Applause for everyone that's still watching. Woo! You're the best. I mean, since you're already here, why not hit the like button, the subscribe button, and maybe that little itsy notification bell? I mean, you're already here, aren't you? Might as well just go ahead and do that. But I understand you should only do it if you really enjoyed the video, and that's my job, to make you videos that you really like so that you can click all those buttons and make sure you show up next week. But it really helps out the channel, so do that if you want to help us out. So I'll be seeing you all on next week's episode, and remember folks, stay odd. Bye!